So I want to just close up here in the next few slides. This is really why the pharma industry should be so concerned about psilocybin and the psilocybin revolution. It's the most disruptive new medicine ever in the history of pharma. The majority of antidepressant medicines activate what's called the TrkB receptor. Many of you have heard my talk about TrkBs. I've been talking about it for about 6 years. This article came out just last year. The vast majority of antidepressant medicines work because of activation of the TrkB neuroreceptor, causing BDNF, brain-derived neurotropic factors. And then another article came out this past year saying psilocybin activates TrkBs 1,000 times more than SSRIs and antidepressant medicines. So if that is a therapeutic dose, a high dose, it's 1,000 times more of antidepressant medicines, where's a microdose? It's going to be greater than 1. It's going to be less than 1,000, but it's going to be on that spectrum. So I think microdosing has enormous potential. It's non-intoxicating. You don't need to go to a clinic and sit with a therapist for 6 hours doing a microdose, bored out of your gourd, because you're not intoxicated. So I've been an advocate, unfortunately, only until Washington State, because microdosing now in Oregon, I think you have to sit for 4 hours with a therapist. It's very expensive. It marginalizes people who want to get better, who are low income, because they can't afford to go into a clinic to get a microdose. It's really important that microdosing of psilocybin has a unanimity of access, irrespective of income. I'm an advocate that psilocybin should be made for free for anyone who cannot afford it, and those who can afford it pay for the expense of those who can't afford it. So the bottom line theory, you can read this, but basically it's a synopsis of what I just said, is that I believe there's a catalytic reaction with niacin. It's the flushing form of niacin, by the way. That's important. And that I think that niacin can be a catalyst for many psychedelics, not just psilocybin. So the popular method being used today, thank you to the Aztecs, because my friend and I, we ingested psilocybin mushrooms for the first time. I started gagging, and she looked at me going, "You're a psilocybin mushroom expert." I go, "These are terrible." Ugh! But you put it in chocolate, I could eat them, right? So people are different, right? Your microbiome is different. Others can speak about the differences. But the very important that you carefully label these. Too many stories about people going, "Oh, there's some chocolate, I'll eat that," right? They eat 10 of these and they go, "Oh my God." So a popular label is laxative. So that seems to keep people away from it, keep it away from children, et cetera, et cetera. So this is what I think psilocybin does. There could be more entourage effects with other substances that increases the ability of binding to help neurological health. And I just want to acknowledge my research staff. We have 8 PhDs. We've published a whole bunch of studies in peer-reviewed articles. Please go to mushroomreferences.com. And lots of people like to quote Einstein, but towards the end of his life, I thought he said some really profound things about science and spirituality. I am not religious, but I'm spiritual. I see a convergence of spirituality and science coming together. Those of you who have been following astronomy, how can you not feel spiritual? Looking at the enormity of the number of galaxies in the universe. The probability we'll find mycelial-based organisms throughout the cosmos. We are at the precipice. We are at a time-critical moment in history. I see it as a binary moment. It's time for us, with our ethnicities and diversity and cultural heritage from all over the world, to come together. Let's not be a circular firing squad playing into the strategy of pharma to be able to hijack this from the people. Psilocybin is for the people of this planet to reduce crime, despair, addiction. We need elders to have the psychomotor skills to teach a student a piano, a guitar, to be able to be not falling, breaking their hip, getting an infection, dying in the hospital. Think about the implications. If we can preserve, expand, and spread the body and intellect of psilocybin mushrooms can change the world. I believe psilocybin mushrooms makes nicer people. I want to thank you very much.